Persona, right? We've just been talking about it. Phenomenal music. And personally, that's a big deal. I'm a big music person, so games with cool music go a long way with me. Yakuza, again, incredible music. Baki Mitai, also phenomenal. Hot damn, hopefully they bounce back. That'll be the plan. They're on blue side this time around. Batting the Rumble. They fumbled the Taeyun swap so incredibly hard as well. It just gave over so many advantages. Hopefully they can fix it here for this one. I still owe Grumpy a stretch, which we'll do after the draft. And a hydrate. Courtesy of Diablo, which in fairness, I did get some water, so I can do that. There you go. So basically everything in your life, JC. But thank you for the info. Appreciate that one. Yakuza Music Encoded is awesome. I love the Yakuza series. One of my favorite series of all time. It's wonderful. Anyway, understandable Wukong first pick with what's been banned out. The Jarvan's gone as well. I think Wukong in general is just very blindable. Orianna is still up and not banned. Banning Kiana away from Yukino. Is this just not an Orianna slam? What's with the lack of Orianna priority? Unless Nemesis has something he wants to play into the Orianna. They're going to Kai'Sa Nico instead then, or Kai'Sa Pantheon. So, the reason they are doing this is it's double global. Pantheon jumps in, Kai'Sa can follow. If you don't lock Talia here, you can then Talia as Slowq, and Slowq is a very big Talia enjoyer. In fact, I wonder. Let me go double check Slowq's numbers on Ori, because I have a feeling his Orianna is a bit mediocre. But I might be wrong. Yeah, he's played one Orianna game and won with it very heavily, to be fair. Let's have a look at his Orianna. I must say, he's played... I take it back. His Orianna has been very successful over his career. He's like a 2/3 win rate. 16 games. But Talia has often been his specialty for my money. It might even be one of his higher win rate champions. In fact, it is. So they're going to Galio and Xayah as a response to the dive core of KCB. It's also a global to follow the Pantheon and potentially the Talia. Killing Crowny this game will be a lot harder. Wukong with the double ults, Galio following in, Crowny with the ult as well. Big deal. Hard to deal with. I am so surprised to see the lower Orianna prio here. But the Talia is a great pairing with the Pantheon. This couple used to be first pick, first ban for half the year. It has been nerfed, though it's worth noting Pantheon has received some compensation buffs after they pushed him a bit far in 0.19. So he is a bit better than he was, and he does duel very well. And Yukino in general is a very, very big Pantheon enjoyer. He's put on some insane numbers. So you've got triple global for KCB. And LR do have tools to deny the dive in the 5v5 in particular, and the Galio can follow some of that global priority. But you are in danger in the side lanes in particular of getting overloaded before you get to survivors. Why the Xayah ult in general will be very important. And I think KCB might need a couple ways to blow that here. They've already banned the Rakan, so you don't have choice support pairing there. But a lot of the other options are fine. Alistair actually pretty good as a way of dealing with some of the CC and upfront burst. You are also quite good defensively because you can headbutt away parts of the engage combo. Don't have the Nautilus pairing for the Kai'Sa, but it does mean that the Nico is a must ban. The bar is already gone from game one because Kai'Sa Nico is incredibly lane dominant. And it actually allows Kai'Sa to get through the early game where she's weakest. Whoa, no, come back, chats. I need you. I might have to click on the screen, and the way because I've got a projector up, it's just going away. Come back. And YouTube chat, there you are. Cool. FNC Yukino, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. If you want to take the risk, he's a pretty good prospect. There's a few other ones you could talk about as well, but Yukino, I think, would be one of my options to try out at the very least. Looked like X has a twin as a coach, just like X was standing up. Aatrox, pseudo-blindable. Good carry, good into a lot of the tanks. Sion's already banned, so you don't have to worry about that one. Is decent-ish into Poppy. Though your combos with the Infernal Dash can be a bit awkward. You have got a couple dash champions here in the Pantheon and the Kaiser. So worth noting, it's a fairly good poppy angle, I think. And it's more defensive tools to just sit on top of Crownie and keep him alive. It is also worth noting that Nemesis and the way he plays Galio is as a carry. He often puts up 1,500 DPM games on Galio. So don't take this as necessarily a low damage comp right now. Could also be poppy support, and I'd be happy with that too. They're going to go Braum. So this is full all in on keeping the Xayah alive. They are all in on anti-dive. Oh, that's an interesting option. Very good into Braum. And cleanse his passive. You can knock him out of things. You help outrange Xayah by giving the Cozy Campfire outrange. You'd be a little bit one-dimensional in your engage if you went it, though, because you basically just have to watch for the Pantheon. That's a little bit too counterable. So they need someone else who can dive into hell with you. So they've gone for the Alistair, who can theoretically shrug off the burst and the anti-dank or the anti-dive CC. So we've got full dive triple global from KCB versus all of the anti-dive. Every single champion brings anti-dive. Like, literally all of them. If this comes down to 5v5s where KCB blow their wad and don't get the Xayah or don't get value, they are going to have a tough time. I think if they get enough value on the dive, though, or Crownie is forced out of a fight, the consistent DPS of the Kaiser, Taliyah, Aatrox, even the Pantheon going through an extra rotation if he gets a couple kills, should be better than the much more burst-heavy single-target carry or single-carry comp of Lost Ratones. Though I think KCB's job of actually threatening Crownie, especially if they aren't getting control of objectives, especially if they aren't getting good flank angles, is going to be tricky. They need to make sure that when they dive, they do it well, or the defensive tools are going to be very, very tough. I think this gets to be a very explosive skirmish and teamfight game. Watch for the globals from KCB. Watch for the responses from Lost Ratones. Again, it is worth noting that Nemesis will go full AP, so that will help with the damage profile. And again, Wukong's not low damage either. But there is a very real world here where you just go through a rotation as Galio and just don't win the extended DPS checks. Rakan was banned. Rakan was banned. Aatrox could have a field day here. Yeah. Because there's a real world where you go in as the Taliyah, as the Alistair, you use your Kaiser ult, your Taliyah ult, and everyone's blown all their cooldowns, and then the Aatrox comes in into a quad melee team and just mashes them. like Aatrox coming in as the sweeper at the end of the play could make this very messy. I agree. And Mainta is a big enjoyer of the Aatrox when he gets the angle. Thank you for the follow, Elfin. Glad to have you on over here. I know you've been following the various LPL streams and stuff as well. And obviously, I see you over in Anivia's chat right now. But thank you for the follow over on the Twitch as well. And if Crownie is disrespectful this game, which he has been known to be, that will prove to be very problematic for Lost Return. Nemesis, I think, is best performing champion at the tournament, though, has been the Galio. And often, I think, of late, anti-dive has trumped dive quite regularly. Been following the days since LJL, lol. Just never follow you specifically for some reasons. But I say, Elfin, I feel like I've seen you around for a long, long time. You've been here since the very start of mine and Nymera's little career. So appreciate it. It's fine. I understand. I forgive you. You're here now. Nessie. Greetings, Nessie. Congrats on the 7th streak, by the way. Dickerish. I love just saying that. I have to say that name out loud. It's great. Is mid lane in the game with us? If yes, Crownie will be caught off position with Flash. No. Yeah. Did I actually run? No, I didn't. I do some stretching. That's true. How did the drafting look? Very aggressive dive and picks of the Pantheon early on. The Lost Returns just went full anti-dive into. Let's get those stretches in. Oh, we'll do some Final Fantasy squats. That'll do. Oh. There we go. The void. I know. I exist in a permanent casting, like, time zone. Chair casting. I know. Incredible. I'll allow that, but that's a very funny auto mod. Percy Allo comp is much better because it's really easy to play. I agree. Though, the early lane prio here of Talia into the Galio, though I am very surprised the bot side is this shoved in, because normally I would expect the Xayah Braum to be a bit more threatening into the Alistar early, especially because Alistar's level 1 is so atrocious. But the fact, basically, you've got prio in 3 lanes, 2 of which I understand, 1 of which I don't. Although, arguably trying to play defensively. It's going to give Yukino a lot of free reign, and I think people underestimate how valuable early priority is, especially for a jungler like Yukino. Because again, last game was decided effectively off a very aggressive re-invade from Yukino, punishing the, or counter-invade from Yukino after the Raptor steal came on through. Can mods get auto-modded? I actually don't know. Possibly. Sam the Voidwalker, I know. Crowny's not having fun. Flash stun, first blood. Oh dear, they were trying to help get shoved there, weren't they? Oh dear, this is looking dire for Lost Ratones. It's only, again, it's only first kill, but that is... You've lost Flash Barrier on Crowny, heal on Reckless, in trade for just double summoners on Piero. We didn't see what happened. I hope we get a replay. That'd be nice. You know what? Fine. You're welcome. Welcome, Corey. Now you have to look after everyone. 4 minutes in, Lost Returns already down 1k gold? Yeah. Where is the next Pokemon? Who knows? That's the point about it. It happened. Here you go. And Crowny cooked. Yeah, it's not looking great for that one. Oh no, Sam, I know. You could say some very heinous. I will unmod you if you go too far, Corey. What happened with the skull there? Who knows? Mod check. Yeah, I know. Now you got to behave, dear Krish. You know what? I'm a cast. Go for it. I'm back. Welcome back. It's nice to see Pro League still play during the Worlds break. Yeah, it's true. It's good timing, actually. They might do this one. Piero balling. Oh, yeah. Did he just headbutt Pulvet? With the trample autos? Oh, very good. Headbutt saves the pulverize. That's a tilter, actually. That's a serious tilter. Because Wukong wanted the double scuttle there and doesn't. Ban me, I dare you. Don't test mods, yeah. Piero just yoinked it, he did. Who has the better draft? I think Lost Returns have got some very good answers into KCB, but I don't think it's as simple as that, because the priority from KCB early on has already proven problematic. And there is a real world where, for all you might save the Xayah with your anti-dive comp, if you burn too many cooldowns and don't get enough on the defense, there's a real world where people like the Aatrox can clean up, because there's actually still quite a lot of people who can carry in an extended fight. Fight over the dragon. Value steps on forward, clones away. Yukino can look to come on forward. He's got control of the banana bush. Weaver's wall. That should just be a smite fight, and it's won by Yukino. Value has to flash out. In comes Nemesis with the ult. Oh no! Oh no! This is awful for Lost Ratones. Gets a taunt. Won't matter. Can it defend anyone else? Slowkey might flash here. Slowkey's gonna flash. There you go. Seismic shove. Gets it onto Velia. Oh, very nice. And the double pulverize afterwards. Headbutt back on Crowny. Oh, good God. That is about as disastrous as it gets. That ult from Nemesis did nothing. And then he tries to buy time for the rest of the team to escape, and they just don't. So it's a 3v3 flip. And basically, they have control of the banana bush, and Slowq comes over faster. They win the fight. They come out of the hero's entrance, so Nemesis doesn't actually get that much value. Piero picks his re-engage moment so well. They get the taunt, but that doesn't actually buy them enough time to get out. Lost Ratones just needed to burn flashes early. The problem is Crowny doesn't actually have any flashes, so Reckless is trying to body block a little bit there. But the double pulverize still comes on through. Gets beyond for the headbutt. Slowkey with a very good flash. That is nasty. Tane on burst, I'm not going to lie. Nemesis' Galio has been very good this tournament, so I wouldn't say that personally. But that is now a, 15, nearly 20 CS lead bot. 3-kill lead mid. Yukino's involved with a hell of a lot. He's up as well. They're going to get grubbed. They've got the early dragon. Yeesh. Okay, don't get me wrong. Lost Ratones are known for having some bad early games, but we've already seen that KCB are a good enough team that if they are given the early lead, aren't as easy to give back on that one. Yeah, the Vi was supposed to be a kind of like aha gotcha thing. It didn't really work very well. And in fairness, Baus has played Vi top before. And they just fumbled the early Tailian swap. Because Vi doesn't get to play at level 1. Which is why they Tailian swapped it. But then it basically gave them up all priority in the lane. So the Corky Nautilus got to mash them early. Nautilus got to invade with the Jarvan. Put Velio in an awful spot. Got Yukino first blood and went on from there. And then they dove bot. And unfortunately, lane priority's been a problem in game 2 as well. And I think Lost Ratones have kind of gotten used to being able to sack an early game and come back in mid. And I just don't know whether you can do that into Yukino. I actually prefer LR's comp towards the later game, assuming this 5 to 30 minutes. I mean, I agree. They've got a lot of tools to punt. Like, you will get late enough that the Kai'Sa win rate curve point comes back into full. And that basically is that Kai'Sa's win rate in solo queue, despite her being a very good scaling champion, actually falls off a cliff post a certain point. Basically, because a lot of Kai'Sas will inevitably yeet themselves into the void in an important fight and cost the team the game. Especially if they're the ones with the gold. Because as Kai'Sa, you are obligated to dive in a lot of the time. And doing that later on gets to the point where rather than getting chunked by someone doing it, you just get 100 to 0 because damage just gets higher. And in this game, there is a very real world where the Kai'Sa goes diving into a Poppy, Wukong, Galio, Xayah, Braum, and is immediately CC'd for 30 seconds and dies forever. Where's Rowlet? Oh, hang on. This is my Rowlet from the Pokemon Center in Yokohama. When I lived in Yokohama, it was my pillow for many years when I had no pillow. It's great. Love him. Love him. Very squishy. Sergio, okay. I have no problem with some disagreements and some disappointments. But let's try and keep personal insults out. And if I see any more personal attacks, I will just ban you, yeah? All wide Rowlet Valley is having a rough time. That's it in Anivia's chat. Like, I have no issue with people being disappointed, saying someone's not playing well, all those kinds of things. But there is a level to which is acceptable, and that is going beyond it for me, okay? Why does Reckless always have the lowest stats on his team? He's played a lot of enchanters, to be fair. Which generally have higher KDAs on that front. Are LR always as bad? No. No, they're not. They had a rough start to the tournament, and they are known for giving away some fairly significant early leads, but KCB are also a very good team. They are a very good team. They're one of the tournament favorites for a reason. And LR, one of their weakest points is their early games. And KCB, particularly with Yukino, are very good in the early game. They have been known to overplay their hands, and it's caused them some issues, but when it works, it looks very, very good. Did you do the poker daily on Discord? I don't know if I did. Need to get this one. Reckless played for T1 Academy, you did as well. But I thought he was baby no money. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. I'm baby no caster. Baby no euros. It's basic. If you check in the... I've basically got a little plugin that allows people to play Pokemon. It's quite fun. It's just a little game. You don't have to engage with it, but it's a little game that people play, and you can kind of do it across multiple chats. You get to keep the Pokemon. There's a little widget in the Twitch box underneath. You can look at it if you want. You can buy Pokeballs and fight people. Pokeball and stuff. It's good fun. Have I played Hades 2? I've got it downloaded. I've yet to play it. I've just not had time. I think with world schedule in particular and co-streaming that, it's been a lot. Anyway, quick check-in on the game state. Oh, Nemesis. He's going to be just about okay, but he's going to have to flash. Oh, boy. That is going to cost an invade at the very least. I think that's going to force Velia out of his jungle. Look at Yukino. He's just jumped on Velia. He's had to back out. That's going to cost him his blue buff. And Velia is the one who's suffering the most from this because he's the one who's being forced off his camps. And the Wukong, who is going to be trapped behind, is going to have a very tough time this game. Baby actually has no money. It's true. I think it's a little harsh to call Reckless a KDA player. I think that's not entirely fair. I think he is definitely more on the conservative end. You know, and sometimes I wish he was a bit more aggressive, but to call him a full KDA player, I think is a little. It's like it's dismissive of his talents, which I think is very unreasonable. KCB stomping, they have been so far. Is it worth going to a Pokemon Center? If you are a Pokemon fan, I think they're really cool. They often do some really cool events. Oh, Piero! Oh, very nice. Piero also had some very bad games earlier in the tournament. In fact, let me go double check something. I feel like... One second. Was it in this one? Yeah, versus KCB. Okay, for versus Verdant, Piero had an atrocious Alistair game. So Verdant in the Swiss stage went 0-9-8. Had an awful game. I knew it was against an NLC team. I was trying to see what it was. And we are actually seeing Piero really locked in. He is a little bit volatile. Him and Yukino, when they don't pop off, will just in. Because they are very, very proactive playmakers, and Verdant were ready to punish. That's not quite how it works, unfortunately, versus Lost Ratones, who don't have the same strength in the early game, and it has been problematic here. It's led to a very big lead for Slowq. It's led to a very big lead for Yukino. The Kais is up 2,000 gold as well. Of course, as we said, team comp-wise, Lost Ratones do have some answers here. It can get very tricky. Okay, not the best taunt, but it might be enough. Piero holds some time. Yukino flashing out. He's in dead. That's actually really good from Nemesis. Herald's been started, but not taken. Velia has to go to the other end, but he's now in the enemy jungle. Mainty could look for him. He needs to get out of here. Can he get interrupted? He will. He's going to get interrupted. Found. Velia, I think, is getting traded. That's unfortunate. Oh, not the best escape path. I get where he tried to back where he did. It doesn't happen. Mainty gets him. So that ends up being a lot of... Hang on, that's 4 ults from Lost Ratones to only trade jungler for jungler. At least Baus wasn't there and might actually get first turret. No, he's not, because Loki's going to get it topside. Damn, at least they trade turrets, but they only get the one. That's feats of strength over to KCB at this point. I mean, it was already there because they had the objectives early with the Grubs and the Dragon. X is going to get mid turret as well. Yeesh. Rough. For a long time, Reckless wasn't building the Redemption, to be fair. But I'm seeing people in chat, because actually, he wasn't building it. Whereas basically everyone has been first adding Redemption, like nearly every support right now. With some very notable exceptions like the Meek. Yukino didn't really have a way out there. Good ult from Nemesis, but then Velia didn't want to get trapped in the pit 2 levels down versus the Aatrox. Understandable, but then can't escape regardless, so ends up trading 1-for-1, and no one gets the Herald. So we go again. But there's a lot better ults available for KCB, and you've burned Xayah ult, Braum ult, Galio ult, Wukong ult. You don't win that Herald fight, so you have to give it up. Dragon's now in 15 seconds. You aren't going to have Galio ult. You can't fight this. It's going to be so point for KCB, because they can't fight with these ults. Because they don't have the anti-dive tools properly anymore. Not really. Xayah's got Flash Barrier, which is something. But I think the ult difference is so problematic here that KCB can't afford to fight this very freely. You can maybe look to... trade Velia for it. There's no Atakan if he dives. I don't know. It'd have to be a very good Baus ult. Nemesis is going to try and shove topside. He's got teleport, but I think this is going to be very tricky. Already, Mate just runs at Baus, gets the W off him. There's a dragon down. Yeah, they have to back away. Nemesis at least gets free time topside. That's the trade here. Which is, you know, all right. Be right back. Oh, and then immediately Xerath, of course, is in trouble. I am still here, Xerath. At least the gold bleed is held off a bit. Yeah, true. But you are still down Herald and the Dragon from that. So you still lose the 2 objectives by going 1 for 1. And you don't get the top turret either. You only get half the wave. I think this game is looking very tricky. You are going to have to fight the next Dragon. And, I mean, Lost Runs haven't been able to cross-map at all. Like, at all. They've lost everything. Misses the Keeper's Verdict. Okay, doesn't actually lead to all that much in fairness. Redemption will heal Baus. It's looking dire for Lost Runs, I agree. Atakan's going to be decisive. Well, basically, Atakan is going to be spawning at a very similar time zone to the Soul. So there's a very real world, but what happens is people start setting up around Atakan about 21-ish minutes, and then whoever wins the Atakan also gets the Dragon. And if KCB do that, there's no way back for Lost Return. Getting this bot side tier 1 will be nice because it helps set that up. In comes the Weaver's Wall. Keeper's Verdict is not going to be required because it's already down on cooldown, so X just gets to ult in with the Killer Instinct and get the kill. Held into tier 2. There is no Poppy. I mean, Lost Ratones. It's limpid. That's not the best option. Limp. Let's go with limp. People have limpid eyes. Clear pools. The wrong choice. Tepid would have been better. I went for the wrong word. Oh, no. Attack the global. Attack the global. Phase rush. There's a flash on... There's no flash on Yukino, but I think he's just fast. He's a Pantheon. He's a Pantheon. He's so quick. Could get taunted here. Seismic Shove is dodged away from. Braum is here. Out comes the heal. But Atakan has spawned topside and Nemesis has to reset. They can set up around this because Yukino has cheated his reset timings. Exa doesn't have ult. Actually, at this point, there is a window where Lost Returns have slightly more ults to work with. Could be a big deal. Piero needs to be a bit wary of overstepping here into the bush. Won't. All right, this might be the way you come back. There is an Intercarn angle, guys. I think as KCB, you want to wait for some cooldowns. Don't play this right now. Just get some wards down, take control, or at least contest topside vision and be happy enough with it. Slowq definitely saw the PayPal notification without show. He basically said, I bet Nemesis walks this side of the tower because there's more space. And Nemesis went, yeah, I know you're going to do that, and I'll walk the other way. But because Braum was there, Yukino didn't want to actually W forwards with the shield vault, so... The globals and pressure is way too effective. This is what happens with globals when you get to effectively attack side lanes with lane priority and vision control. Because Lelar have to try and get some cross maps down, or the cross mapper is always under threat. Particularly the Galio, actually, who hasn't been jumped on that much yet, but that's a tier 2 bot side down. You've already gotten it. Bot side, sorry, so that's the mid one down. That's a big one. I mean, this is tough. And then they get to contest right back towards Atakan. Okay. Is it the Intercarn? Where's Velia? Can he get in? It's a Wukong. Hard to keep out. Piero tried his best to stop that one. Velia tried. Couldn't get in range. Not quite in time. Could maybe look for the fight after. Piero will immediately ult. It's a good Glacial Fissure, but over goes Yukino. Gets a good stun onto Velia. Keeper's Verdict is good. Piero will likely die. But Exa in the backside blows up Velia. That's the jungler dead. And Mates is jumping across everyone. He just murdered 2. Nemesis falls as well. Exa flashes into the pit to buy some time for everyone else to come on over. In comes Mates, who still had the flash. They might kill Exa, but Crownie will surely die. And does. Reckless. The last man standing is not enough to change it. It's an ace for 2. And the Atakan. And Dragon spawns in 45 seconds. This will be Soul as well. Velia tries to flash. He does. But it's not enough. At which point you think maybe this is an angle. It's a good Glacial Fissure, but it's just not quite long enough to threaten Slowq or Exa. You knock away the Pantheon. It's a 4v5. But then Exa finds a wonderful angle into the backline to even it up. And at this point, Yukino gets to rejoin. Baus is blasted. Nemesis is blasted. It resets Mainta's ult. Exa chooses his way out really well because he says, actually, I'm not going to run away enough away from you. So what I'll do is I'll curl around this corner and give main to the flash angle into the back line. And that means the other two fall in trade for X's life, which is more than worth it. Dragon now spawns. Everyone's back alive. No one's actually started it. But Velio and Nemesis have come out of this replay already at half. Good taunt! That's a kill on Piero. That's good. But potentially now Lost Ratones could play the 4v5. Oh, comes Exa, who wasn't here to begin with. Velio left very low. In comes the W, the clone away with the Warrior Trickster. Crowny got blasted by the Comet Spear. And the Aegis Assault, though. Now Nemesis needs to run away with a bit of phase, but Exa immediately ults in the backside. And the W is late from the Baus, who will now die as well. Reckless puts up the door, but Velio's running to the wave to try and keep that alive. But it's pitiful looking at this point. A Warrior Trickster over the wall, but there's the far side alteration. They want that jungler. Or at the very least, they want to keep him honest and away from the dragon. Solve for Karmine Corp Blue. And a very real world of a 2-0 start to the series for KCB versus the defending champs of LR. The golden path is suddenly looking very narrow. This is disappointing, to be honest. It is a little. It is a little. That sucks so much. It does. Are there any other games after this? No, not today. There will be tomorrow. There will be tomorrow. Maybe I stream something after this, but I think probably not. Golden Rat chance of getting a little low. They are. They are. Oh, this has been a tough watch, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Slow Q. Now with a death cap. Exa with the Nash's tooth. I mean, you're praying for a Baron flip at this point, probably. That has to be the way forwards. Anyone looking forward to the Red Bull event? Very much so. Should be really cool. Should be really cool. You sound like Vedius. We have very similar accents. Shove onto Baus. I don't really think you guys sound that similar. If you're a non-native speaker, I can get it. Because the accent is similar, so that will help. And we've got relatively similar registers to voices. I don't think, like, to English speakers, we don't sound that similar. Nymera, my brother, does to Vedius. Like, Alex sometimes confuses his voice with Vedi. Like, he confuses his own voice with Vedi sometimes. That's a big one. X was in an LEC team already. He was indeed, and also on SK. He was quite good at LEC level. Almost a perfect game. Yeah, I mean, he did a very good job here. Few kills aside, it's been very, very clean. I think Baus gets a shove on the X, that means absolutely jack all. Eats a Cathian Rain. A non-native English speaker or not a person from the UK? Mostly a non-native English speaker, though I've definitely known some Americans to get confused by the accent too. Though not as much. Over we go. Damage comes on down. But yeah, put it this way. My mum sometimes confuses Vedi and Nymera, which is very funny. when our own mother can't differentiate between Nymera and Vedi sometimes, it's you know, there's quite a similarity in voice. Kate's been so surgical this lane. Very, very, very much fun. Very, very much so. Well, I didn't know you and Nymera were brothers. Yeah. In fact, he's in the other room. KCB, look, to end this game out, absolute demolition again. And actually, is a composition that theoretically Lost Ratones had some ways to play into. They had a lot of anti-dive that meant jack fucking all. Big deal. Exa is said Exa? Yeah, because it's from Exakick. It's a rename of Exakick, who was a former LEC player. Well, it's him. He's just renamed. The Exa used to be named Exakick, yes.